Well done.
Thanks for clapping, Chris.
COVID. Well, you deserve a round of applause, don't you?
For what?
Being here. Recovery.
Well, yeah. I will start by saying I feel like I got away with it.
Yeah.
I did. It's a shame that the TV cameras didn't pick up exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, should we just rewind for the people that didn't see it or aren't aware?
Yeah. So racing at Thruxton in the Sport Bike Cup on a Triumph. Weekend was going great until it wasn't. So the second race of the weekend, decent start, 15th, past someone going into the chicane around the outside. My famous move that I'd done all weekend, because that's the only way I was going to overtake people, was just by outbraking them, because I couldn't do it on a straight. Outbraking people around the outside into the club chicane. The guy behind me I haven't spoken to him. I know he's all right. That's the main thing. But I don't know what happened. It looked like either a brake failure or he'd made contact with me, and then the guy had just overtaken, and we both ended up under the air fence. But I will say...
Underneath it?
Underneath it.
Not bouncing off it?
No, underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, you did look quite wobbly on TV.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't... I was not with it. Have you ever knocked yourself out?
No.
No, it's not a great place to be. It's a really scary place to be. And when I came round, I was adamant that I wasn't out, but I was out for about a minute. I'm very lucky to get away with it. I broke my 2 metacarpals, my third and fourth, and fractured scaphoid, which is just a little crack, thankfully. So I'm this little sort of Timmy. It's awfully orthopedic, isn't it?
But I quite like the brown leather, the tan leather. I mean, it's not even leather, is it?
No, it's leather. It's leather. Genuine leather.
Leatherette.
Yeah.
Quite like it.
Yeah. But yes, knocking yourself out isn't fun, and you can measure broken bones. You can measure the sort of heel rate, and the growth and everything else. And just when you knock yourself out, it's like I said, I wasn't right. I'm still not right now. This is 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks? 3 weeks.
This is actually the first time I've seen you since we went to the Ducati thing.
Yes. Yeah. Because
for your own confidence, you're no different. Like before you knocked yourself out to now.
I'm still not right.
Yeah, but there's no. I don't notice.
You don't notice?
No, you're not like slurring words and stuff.
That's good news.
Yeah,
it's good news.
If anything, you look a bit more sprightly.
Joe said that to me the other day. My wife said that to me the other day. I was like, really? She's like, you look really well rested. I'm like,
maybe it knocked some sense into you.
Maybe the old saying, the old cliche. But yeah, I think there's lots of... Thankfully, BSB has come a long way to react to head injuries, and I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon here. My lad's been knocked out doing motocross, and it's not, especially seeing his son lie on the floor thinking he's dead. It's a horrible thing to see, and yet the next day he could have ridden because there's nothing in place. There's nothing. There's no guidelines or anything like that for him to say, you can't race for 7 days or you can't race for 14 days.
I thought there is in BSB, isn't there?
That's what I'm saying. In BSB there is, but not in motocross or in club racing or anything else. Really, if you knock yourself out and don't say anything, then you can just go ride. And I know people will have. And and people may think I'm overreacting or, like I said, jumping on the bandwagon, but it's really, really, really dangerous.
Yeah, because you're endangering other people. If you want to just pass out and whatever, take your own risk, up to you. But I suppose if you're on a circuit with multiple other people.
Yeah, and, it's not just that. I mean, in the last couple of years, I've knocked myself out for, 3 weeks. But before that, it was... I
was just getting to a level height. I was feeling too dominant.
Okay, as always. Before that, I had knocked myself out for 12 years.
Wow. But
in the last couple of years, just with doing motocross and having involvement in that, I've done a fair bit of research, and there's so much that there's a real aftermath, if you like, of injury and what's involved in a head injury. Not just your bleed to the brain and the obvious concussion bits, being sick and not remembering and headaches and stuff. But there's a real chemical reaction that happens, and it can affect you for months and months and sometimes longer. So
what actually is a concussion?
We should have done our homework, shouldn't we? Should we pause here and do some homework?
I'm surprised you haven't learnt this over the last...
Well, a concussion is a head trauma.
Well, yeah.
Caused by an impact injury.
Blunt object to the face.
Well, this is it. So my concussion wasn't caused by hitting my head. Get this. It was caused by stopping suddenly. So it was essentially my organs, including my brain, stopping suddenly.
Right, okay.
Because my helmet's fine.
So it's the opposite of a strike.
Yes. Yeah.
Same result.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your helmet looks all right, doesn't it?
It's fine.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't wear
smelling.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Fromage everywhere. If you don't want the headache of buying a new or used bike and fancy winning one for bugger all, then head over to our official competition partners at Apex 66. They got a veritable feast of live comps, including this 1250 GSA, a Slipperelli R1, a 790 Duke, and a Triumph Tiger. Why not join a load of other 44 Teeth winners? You got to be in it to win it. Link in description.
A concussion, also known as a mild traumatic brain injury, is a head injury that temporarily affects brain functioning. Symptoms may include loss of consciousness, memory loss, headaches, difficulty with thinking, concentration, or balance, nausea, blurred vision, dizziness, sleep disturbances, and mood changes. Because the human body is amazing, isn't it? So it's a way of going...
It shuts itself down.
Hang on a minute, reboot.
Yeah, exactly.
Alt Control Delete.
Yes. It shuts itself down temporarily, like a coma, like not a medically induced coma, but a body, I don't know, a biological...
Yeah, it's a safety feature.
Yeah, a safety function.
It's rebooting your PC in safe mode.
The worst experience I had, it was at Cartagena, the real fast left, the penultimate left, basically, the penultimate corner before the last left.
Mm-hmm. Where your rear set fell off.
No.
The fast kink.
The fast kink before the last left, yeah. So came through there, 100 and whatever million mile an hour when we were testing the Superbike back in 2009, and the water hose fell off. They didn't put a Jubilee clip on, or apparently it cracked. Didn't put on, and so I went. I had this. I mean, anyone who's had a bad concussion will know sort of certain outer body experiences you can experience. It was honestly. So I crashed, and I was looking down at myself with Michael Dunlop. Fair play. Michael Dunlop just stopped, put his bike up against the fence, stopped, came over to check I was all right, because there's no marshals in Spain, is there? No medical facilities. And I was out cold. And I was looking down at myself with Michael Dunlop, like checking if I was all right. And I thought I was dead.
Maybe you did die.
Maybe
that's what death is.
Maybe.
Did it feel good? Like, all right? Apparently it's very calm.
It kind of felt all right.
Like,
It kind of felt all right initially. But then, of course, the chaos, confusion, and it's really difficult to articulate what you feel after a head injury. Obviously, I didn't know where I was, but it was like panic setting in, and I didn't recognise friends and family, and it was just
this time round or that time?
No, that time. Yeah.
Was that worse?
That was way worse.
Because apparently I've heard, I'm not a doctor, but once you've had a couple of concussions, they get more easy to happen and worse. Like boxers.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Like continual brain damage.
Right.
So what would you do to change it? Like, is there anything you would do to... Obviously, you can't change the fact that you fell off or got hit off, but you can't... you would put a regulation like BSB in most motorsports.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There has to be some sort of recognised, certified group of guidelines in place, because it's just, same with track days. I know people, friends, who have knocked themselves out one day and gone to a track day the next couple of days.
But then track days, I mean, I got breathalyzed by Kevin Healy once.
Yeah.
And I was at the time I was like, shut up. But fair play. I was in the bar late at night.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on a track with drunk people.
Nursing your second pint at 11:30 at night.
Yeah. Breakfast sangria.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of things. But I guess it would just be so invasive, wouldn't it? There's no reason to breathalyze someone unless they look drunk. Or there's no reason to qualify someone as being dangerous in the head.
No, exactly. And because I had a CT, I mean, the BSB facilities are amazing. You've got X-rays within minutes, you get CT scans, everything. And, to a point, they couldn't see anything wrong. So there's no kind of procedure to follow. It's not, like I said, it's not going to an X-ray and going, right, you've got broken this, or, you've torn your ligament or whatever else. There's nothing to quantify a head injury. And that's the most difficult part about it is,
But then I suppose you have trust. You trust a lot of people. You have to trust a lot of people in life. You trust the other riders around you when you're riding. You just
sometimes
it comes down to having to be responsible for yourself and the others, people around you. And if you're making irresponsible decisions, then there's no comeback, is there? But you just hope that people would go, actually, I'm not fit to ride, even though it's going to lose them points in the championship or whatever. And they probably wouldn't do that. But that's where it stops.
Yes, but you try telling a kid or someone who wants to ride, because there's no obvious signs. You don't often, and this is something I've learned again over the past couple of years. So it can take, like I said, it can take months to recover from a head injury. But as soon as you start truly upping your heart rate after your concussion, that is when you see the signs of a previous head injury. Now, a friend of mine, his lad races motocross. He's an ex-British champion, very, very talented rider. He spent a year off a bike pretty much off a bike because he had one major head injury, and after that time, every time he got back on a bike and his heart rate went up, his vision was blurry, his reaction times were bad, like everything to do with riding was compromised because of this.
Maybe I had a head injury.
Well, yeah, but yeah, my point is, it's so difficult to regulate, but with BSB now, the last couple of years making a real big effort with a concussion protocol and everything else, it is working. There's no hiding at BSB. There's the same set of medics there, the same set of marshals. They know someone who's had a crash. If he's had an injury, right, you can't race for 7 days or 2 weeks, whatever it is. But it's different for the rest of the sport. Really different.
But I imagine in hundreds of years, when hopefully people do find more stuff out about brains.
Brain transplants.
It's going to be like us looking back at, Roman medical procedures, going, look at those idiots. They didn't know shit.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
I mean
the world
there's no maybe about it, definitely.
I don't think it will, because the world won't exist.
That's a bit of a pessimistic.
No, I'm just being realistic.
Do you not think the world? Why not? What do you think is happening?
Global warming.
Anything else you want to add to your little?
No, I think
just maybe a thank you to the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it was again. I still haven't finished properly the Thruxton video at this at time of recording this, so it was quite. Sorry about this. It's quite mismatched and not sure how it was going to end. So, yeah, but it was so good to see so many of you at Thruxton. It was a real buzz to be back, even though it ended badly. It was so good to be back in a paddock and being competitive or relatively competitive, and just it was fucking brilliant.
I've got a question.
Go on.
It's a difficult one.
No.
Are you going to race again?
Yeah.
Do you think that's sensible?
Mate, I can't believe you answered that. Probably not sensible, no, because what's the point of finishing 14th every race? But no, I mean, I was having the best weekend ever.
Yeah, but then, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mate, you can get hit by a bus, you can get cancer, you can get.
But you're more likely to have. I mean, I'm not poo-pooing racing.
Well, it sounds like you are.
But but everyone has.
I was waiting for the text message actually after Thruxton going, is it time you hang out the levers, mate? I was waiting for some sort of like...
Maybe this is it. But then these things can happen. And
they can.
Everyone's got responsibility, and putting yourself on a circuit is a risk.
How many times have you crashed in the past 2-3 years?
Once. 2 years. It wasn't a crash either. It was a bike malfunction. But that's not. But the difference is, on a track day or something, you're not. No, like everyone on that paddock is riding it over 100%. Like on that first race, like it's all. You never go that hard on a normal just wobbling round. So
I prefer to race, and this is maybe this is a good point. Well, it is a good point. It's slightly off subject, but I prefer to race with anyone of that level of rider and go hard than just ride at a track day with the random spread of talent.
So would I. But I'm just saying, you're by putting yourself on that circuit, even if it's a track day or a race day, you're still putting yourself at risk, aren't you?
You are,
and
yeah.
As a responsibility to the rest of the elements of your life, you take the choice, don't you? Go, okay, well, I'm going to do this because it does X, Y, Z. These are the ticks. It might happen that ABC happens.
I think that may be the difference between me and you. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't. If someone said to me,
but then you had to take like 3 weeks off work or whatever, and blah 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 blah.
I took 2 days off.
Okay. But you're not. But what the? And this is. I'm not like saying.
It sounds like a proper drilling. So I just pull down my trousers as well.
When you want to race again, we'll talk about it.
I'm racing again. I mean, like I said, I was on the best time ever.
Well, I'm glad you had a great time.
Well, you've got your race bike still.
Have I?
Have you still got your Millie?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not interested in racing?
I am, but I think it comes as a. I mean, this is for another video. It's a follow-on bit thing, but at our age, which is, I mean, I'm 46 next month. Rossi's number. It would solely be for enjoyment purposes, obviously, etc. But I would definitely weigh up if I could afford to take out the time after injury, or if anything happens.
But you can't think like
money.
that.
But you have to.
But why? But like,
because everyone else depends on me.
No. But life in general, especially at the moment, you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So you need to be prepared.
I get it. I get your point.
It's an interesting discussion.
It is.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I'm not saying. I don't think there is a yes or no, right or wrong. It's just. I'm glad it's not worse. Put it that way.
No,
because if you had, God forbid, been really bad,
yeah,
then who the fuck am I going to make videos with?